Hey folks, this is part one of a 12-part series that I'm calling Rebuilding Community. A lot of us feel that something pretty big is missing in American life right now. We are more disconnected from one another. We trust fewer of the institutions around us. And problems that are that big can make an ordinary person feel pretty powerless. So over these next 12 videos, I want to focus on things that we can actually do where we live in a particular order without starting an organization or turning our lives completely upside down. The goal here is to rebuild some of the relationships and habits that make people feel like they belong somewhere. Those relationships make life better, they make communities more resilient, and stronger communities make for a healthier democracy as well. So part one, this video, starts with belonging. Imagine there's been a storm, and after the storm ends, you open your door and find that a neighbor has left a thermos on your front step. There's no big production being made, maybe not even a note, but they just figured you might need it. There's something almost startling now about being known well enough that somebody notices what you need without your having to explain it first. That kind of recognition has become completely rare, and certainly much rarer than it should be. Before we had enormous systems handling nearly every part of life, we depended much more directly on one another. We had each other's porches. Community is partly that local, and that relational trust that holds people together when something larger fails or simply doesn't reach you. Belonging, as I'm using it here, really comes down to two things: mutual recognition and reliable care. Basically, I see you. You can count on me. When people know who you are, and you have some reasonable confidence that somebody would notice if something went wrong, you become less guarded. You can trust more. And usually that means that you can also give more too. When that disappears, people tighten up. We become more suspicious and more protective because we're not terribly sure anybody is coming if something goes wrong. I think an awful lot of people are living some version of that right now. For a long time, Americans practiced belonging almost accidentally. There were block parties and church basements and union halls or PTA meetings or backyards with folding chairs and some random grown-up standing over a grill. Those places taught people how to remain in relationship with one another. You learned how to deal with somebody you disagreed with because you were still going to see them next Thursday. You helped people without turning everything into a transaction. And sometimes you had to accept help yourself. That was social life. But it was also civic life. We've lost a lot of those spaces. People work longer hours, and families move, and institutions and gathering places have disappeared. Screens have swallowed enormous amounts of our attention. Now, plenty of us live surrounded by people we barely know while talking every day to people hundreds or thousands or more miles away. We didn't stop needing neighbors, but we certainly got out of the practice of having them. And that matters when institutions become unreliable, and when money gets tight, or when public life gets really ugly, or when you simply have one of those ordinary days when the car won't start and you're supposed to pick up your kid in 20 minutes. In those moments, one of the most useful forms of resilience is a circle of actual people within reach. Somebody who will check on you when you're sick, somebody who knows your kid's name, a neighbor who notices something seems wrong, whatever it may be. We tend to talk about resilience in terms of generators and emergency supplies, And those things have their place. So does knowing who you can call when life just goes completely sideways. And just as important, resilience means being somebody another person can call. That's why I think belonging is a civic virtue. Real relationships move meals or rides or childcare or information, and they help quickly. They also build trust in one of the only ways that trust really gets built. Somebody says they'll show up, and then they show up. And eventually you believe them. You don't have to share somebody's politics to shovel their driveway. You don't have to settle every cultural argument in America before you bring a neighbor dinner after they have surgery. The question is much simpler. Will you show up again? That's the work we can do before the next election or the next emergency. Preferably, we do it before we suddenly wish we'd already done it. And we're going to start very small. Before the day ends, take out a piece of paper and write down 2 things. First, an ask. Something you need that somebody nearby could reasonably provide. Second, an offer. Something you could provide that somebody near you might need. A ride, a meal, a conversation, a tool. Help with something around the house, who knows what. Watching somebody's kid for 20 minutes. Then tell one person what's on the paper. Let somebody see a little bit of what you're carrying and give them the chance to show you a little bit of what they're carrying too. Community gets built through repetitions like that. Somebody asks, somebody answers, somebody comes back. Eventually, there are people around you whom you know, who know you, and who can reasonably expect something from one another. That's where we're starting. The next part 2, is called Name the Gap. And we'll look at what's actually missing from your own life and community. Because once you can see the empty space clearly, it becomes a lot easier to figure out what belongs there. Now you'll find all 12 parts of this series together in the Rebuilding Community playlist, and I will add the videos there as we go. Thanks a bunch. I hope you end up enjoying this. If you have requests for specific topics, they may be covered in the 12 parts, but you can certainly toss them in anyway. If you have questions or other comments or whatever, feel free to drop them below. But I hope that you enjoy this. I hope you find it useful. If you think you are too late to start rebuilding your community, you are not. Right now is the most time you will ever have. So now is the right time. Please keep that in mind. And please don't balk at this and then wish, after the midterms, as we approach 2028, who knows, somewhere probably in that timeline though, that you dramatically will end up wishing that you had done this when you first had the chance. I'll see you soon.